Hey, I'm Chef Billy Parisi, and thanks so much for stopping by into my kitchen. My wife's got quite a sweet tooth, and I'm sure you know a few folks that do as well. So I'm gonna make an insanely delicious chocolate cheesecake with a cookie crust and fresh strawberries. The first thing we need to do is start by making that cookie crust. Simply add some cookies to a food processor along with some melted butter and process on a high speed. Once the cookies and the butter have come together to a nice mealy consistency, that's when it's perfect to add it to the bottom of our springform pan for our crust. If you're not familiar with what a springform pan is, it sort of has this buckle here so that it releases once the cake is finished. So what we're gonna do is simply add it to the bottom, and we're gonna press it down using a spatula. Really sort of pack the crust down in there. You don't want it to fall apart or flake, and ask yourself, what's the best part to any pie or any cheesecake? Of course, it's the crust, and this one's gonna be amazing. So we're gonna set this to the side, and what we wanna do now is whip up our batter. So in a standing mixer with the paddle attachment, what we wanna do is cream together some cream cheese, sugar, and cocoa powder. After this mixture's been whipping together on high speed for about 3 to 4 minutes, it'll get really nice and light and fluffy. We want to scrape the bowl completely with a rubber spatula. After we do that, what we want to do is add in 1 egg at a time while it's on low speed until it's mixed in. Next, we're going to fold in some sour cream, a little bit of heavy whipping cream for some body, and while that's whipping on low speed, we are going to melt some chocolate in a microwave-safe bowl, first for a minute, then we're going to stir it up. We're gonna add it for another 30 seconds, stir it, add it for another 30 seconds. It should be melted at that point. What we wanna do is fold it right into our cheesecake batter mixture on low speed till it's combined, and then we're gonna assemble our cheesecake. All right, our cheesecake batter is finished. It smells insanely amazing in this kitchen. It looks awesome. What we simply wanna do now is scrape the bowl a little bit. We're gonna pour it right onto our crust in our springform pan. And here's a little trick. What we wanna do is put it on some heavy duty foil and wrap it all around because we're cooking this in a water bath. We're gonna put the cake right into a larger cake pan, and we wanna cook it in a water bath like I said. This will help keep it moist, it will cook more evenly, and it won't burn around the edges. To do this, one of my favorite things in my kitchen is my pot filler. This helps in so many ways, so I'm not carrying heavy things full of water back and forth from the sink. I can do it all right here. Once it's about halfway full in the pan of water, we're gonna put it in the oven on 350 degrees. It's gonna take 90 minutes. While the cheesecake is in the oven, or perhaps when it's cooling, this is a perfect timing so we can make our topping. We're gonna make a really simple sour cream chocolate topping. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but I promise it's gonna go absolutely amazing on top of our cheesecake. What we're gonna do is simply whisk together some sour cream and powdered sugar, and in the meantime, just like when we melted the chocolate for the batter, we're gonna do the same thing with 2 ounces of bittersweet chocolate in the microwave. Once it's melted, we're gonna pour it in, keep it all whisked together. We're gonna keep it cool until our cheesecake is finished. What would a cheesecake be without fresh strawberries? But first, obviously, we need to rinse them. And one of my favorite things in our kitchen is the Franke roller mat. It's perfect for drying dishes or setting cheesecakes on, like we'll do in a little bit, and using it as a colander. We simply use the faucet extender to spray it off, and it works perfect every single time. Once they're clean, we're simply gonna cut them in half. The cheesecake is finished. It looks amazing, it smells amazing, and like I said earlier, now we need to cool it, so it is the waiting game, and you're gonna be tortured, believe me, until this thing gets down to room temperature. So what we're gonna do is simply remove the foil from it, and using our Franke roller mat, we're gonna let it cool down to room temperature, and then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator to chill it completely. The cheesecake is finally finished. Now it's time to eat and plate up. What we wanna do now is remove this buckle from the springform pan, and it will simply release right away, which is good for you and I. You can see how easy that was. And now what we're gonna do is set it on a nice little cake stand. We're gonna add on our sour cream topping. The last 2 things we want to do to finish up this cheesecake is we're going to shave a little bit of chocolate, we're going to line up the strawberries on one side, and I'm going to do my best not to eat this before my wife gets home because it looks and smells amazing. As you can see, cheesecake is really easy to make. You just need enough time to do it. There's no way my wife's touching this. I'm out of here. See ya.